Hey everybody, I'm Dr. Fox and you're listening to The Natural Path. On today's episode, I'll be talking with you about one of the main hormones that causes weight gain but often gets missed in your lab testing. So stay tuned to find out what that hidden hormone is. Hey you guys, happy Saturday morning. I just did what I would normally be doing on Thursday, which is grocery shopping. Now I was at Superstore by 7. And now I'm at Save on Foods because I forgot something at Superstore. So on my way home, I'm hitting up another grocery store. Anyways, that's not why I'm on here. I haven't been super vocal because I keep saying, okay, I'll talk about these labs or I'll talk about this thing that's on my mind. And then something comes up. I've just been so busy in practice, in office and just in life that I haven't got to touch base on a lot of things. But I did have someone send me a message this week. So if you follow me regularly, you would have seen that I posted some blood work about insulin, fasting glucose, and hemoglobin A1C, and that's what the question was about. So I just wanted to actually break this down for you guys because I'm seeing this on repeat as far as what regular GPs will test, what is actually required, and I really want to make sure that all you guys are aware of why testing fasting insulin is important. So the most common thing that a regular GP will test is probably your fasting glucose. And just like fasting insulin, they're testing the same period of time. So it's 12 hours from your last meal. So for most people, if they're going to the lab at 8 in the morning, it's 12 hours before that, the previous day. And then we're watching to see how your blood sugar and insulin responds in that fasting period. So ideally, what you'd like to see is that blood sugar comes down, insulin comes down, and we're good. So you're able to clear the blood that is or the sugar that's in the blood in the way that you should to minimize risk of future cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancers, etc. Now, if we're just to test fasting glucose, you could have had maybe, let's say, a run of a good week of exercising and eating really, really good. And maybe that helps your response and makes your fasting glucose go down the way that it should, which can happen, honestly. We can make changes to fasting glucose pretty quickly. And fasting insulin, so speaking of fasting insulin, that is the marker of all the markers, so fasting glucose, insulin, and hemoglobin A1C, that's going to change first. So you're going to see changes in your fasting insulin for the worse, so not positive changes if things are starting to go awry. So if you're just looking at fasting glucose and hemoglobin A1C, you might not catch something that has been creeping up on you. So what happens when you eat, let's say, something sugary or you eat a piece of fruit? Your blood sugar will go up, right? We all know this. And then how do we get the sugar out of the blood? That's insulin's job. So insulin is a messenger that gets released from the pancreas and then binds to your cells and basically knocks on the door of the cell and says, hey, open up your gates and let glucose in so we can bring down blood sugar, and then also so the sugar can be used to fuel metabolism and energy production. Now, over time, if sugar continues to repeatedly be elevated and the cells are no, we've got enough in here, we don't need any more, they'll stop responding to insulin's kind of modest, low to moderate signal. So then the pancreas pushes out more insulin to send a bigger signal because it's no, we got to bring down blood sugar. We need to get that sugar into the cells. So that's what insulin resistance is when the cells are no, we don't need any more glucose, and the pancreas is no, we gotta save this person. We gotta get the glucose out of the blood. This is gonna cause damage. And so that's what insulin resistance is, when the cells stop responding to insulin signal. So the pancreas has to send a larger signal, and that's what makes insulin levels go up over time. Then we have hemoglobin A1C. That is the one that shows us on average in the last 3 months, what has your average blood sugar been? So not a fasting, it's on average, which is also really important, especially when we're trying to monitor changes. Usually, if we're monitoring blood glucose levels, I will do labs every 3 months. So we'll start an intervention of some kind or several. And then 3 months later, we want to assess to see, okay, where was I? Sorry, I had a call coming in there. So anyways, hemoglobin A1C, that's in combination with the fasting insulin, glucose. That's how we really get the full picture of what's going on and how to monitor things that are going on. But don't ever let someone say no to fasting insulin, because that is the first thing that will change. So you might have kind of like a normalish hemoglobin A1C, a normalish fasting glucose, but you could have insulin resistance, and that might help to explain a lot of your symptoms, even though people are saying everything is good and normal.